Now look, today we're diving into a major breaking story out of Dallas, Texas. A gunman opened fire on an immigration and customs enforcement facility, also known as ICE, leaving one person unalived and two critically injured. Now, the shooter himself was later unalived at the scene. And this is a story that raises huge questions about safety, politics, and how we talk about our government agencies. Look, y'all sit back and relax and stay into the end of this episode because we about to dive right in. Welcome back to another episode of Eyes Low, Belly Full. As y'all know, this marks episode 157. So according to officials, the attack happened when a man climbed onto a rooftop near the Dallas ICE field office. And from there, he opened fire on the Sally Port, which is the secure entryway where detainees are moved in and out of the facility. Now, 3 detainees were hit by gunfire, and tragically, one of them lost their life, and the other 2 is in critical condition. And the shooter, identified as 29-year-old Joshua John, was unalived from what authorities say was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, so he pew-pewed himself. Also, investigators later found shell casings marked with the words anti-ICE. And that detail alone shows that this wasn't just a random attack. It was an intentional, targeted attack.
Homeland Security says that before 7 a.m., a sniper started shooting from a nearby rooftop and fired indiscriminately at the ICE facility, including a van that was in the Sally Port. DHS says 3 detainees in that van were shot and at least one of the detainees was killed. The gunman then turned the gun on himself. Officials say no ICE agents were hurt. The FBI, though, shared pictures of rounds found right near that shooter with anti-ICE engraved on those shell casings.
Now, we all know in the chaos of breaking news, the facts can get messy because some outlets reported that 2 detainees was unalived, before it was clarified that only one had really been unalived. And while investigators are looking into the shooter's background, there is still no clear evidence that ties him to a bigger extremist group. I mean, his family reportedly told the press that he wasn't overtly political. So was this about ideology, personal issues, or both? That's still unclear. Now, what's crazy about this whole thing is the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem or something like that, she framed that this was an attack against ICE itself. But the victims were detainees, not ICE officers. So that raises a questions like who John actually intended to harm.
So we got some more breaking news coming out of Texas when it comes down to this shooting that ended up taking place at this processing center for undocumented migrants. Kash Patel, the FBI director, ended up putting out a statement, and he ended up showing some bullets that were on top of the roof where they ended up finding the person who ended up committing this heinous attack. Here's the picture of the person that ended up doing this attack. But in the photograph that Kash Patel ended up putting out, it shows some bullets that were on the roof and everything, and it shows anti-ICE on these bullets that were not engraved. There are a lot of people saying that these bullets were engraved. They're not engraved. They're just, written on with a blue pen, and it says anti-ICE. Correct me if I'm wrong, but every single protest, every single video I have ever seen on any social media platform, it's always been F-ICE, not anti-ICE. I've never seen anyone once ever say anti-ICE on or in a protest or in a video or anything like that. So something's definitely not adding up here, especially because every single individual that ended up getting targeted was an undocumented migrant. Let me know your thoughts in your comments, because if it was anti-ICE, why would they have not gone after ICE? Why did they go after undocumented migrants?
And this is bigger than just one violent attack. First, it highlights how vulnerable these kinds of facilities are. I mean, we're talking about a federal building that became a target from across the street on a rooftop. That's a huge security risk. And second, it sparks debate over rhetoric. Secretary Noem already warned that heated political talk about ICE can inspire attacks like this. Now, on the flip side, critics argue that blaming rhetoric too broadly could be a way of shutting down legitimate debate about immigration policy. Or all this can be, a redirection from them Epstein files. And that's a topic for a whole nother episode. But let's get back to it. This shows how detainees, people that's already in custody and unable to protect themselves, end up in crossfire. Whether the shooter meant to target them or not, they're the ones paying the ultimate price. And not to mention, this wasn't the first incident at that Dallas facility. Just last month, there were actually bomb threats. And across Texas, ICE locations have already faced protests, threats, and vandalism before. So this seems like a bigger pattern, against ICE. But the thing is, the detainees got shot. I don't know if he was aiming for the ICE, ICE workers or something like that, or the people employed at the ICE facility and end up hitting the detainees. But it seems like he targeted the detainees. So I don't, from my perspective, this guy, John, the shooter, he doesn't seem like he was mad at the fact that ICE are taking immigrants off the street or, trying to regulate immigrants or doing this to immigrants or something like that. He seems like he's mad that they're not doing it more. You feel what I'm saying? From my perspective, because he hit detainees. Like I said, I don't know if he meant to hit them, but it seems like he was aiming for them with a sniper rifle on the roof. He hit 3 detainees, then hit no ICE official, no ICE, worker at the facility or nothing. So he probably more mad that they not taking more immigrants off the street. You feel what I'm saying? From my perspective, and that, let me know what y'all think. I don't know. But either way, whether it was a lone wolf attack or part of something broader, it's clear that ICE facilities are operating under higher risk than ever before. So here's where we're at. 1 detainee unalive, 2 fighting for their lives, and a shooter who left behind shell casings that read anti-ICE. And at the end of the day, this is a tragedy. It's a reminder of how words, actions, and policies can all intersect in ways that can have daily consequences. Now, I want to hear what y'all think about this situation. Do you think this attack was aimed at ICE itself, or was the detainees always the real target? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And if this video resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit that bell notification for more episodes. I'ma catch y'all in the next one. Peace.